Coming to you live from the Cowboys headquarters in Frisco. Deep in the heart of Texas, it's the Star at Night.
Wow, dramatic much?
Why are you getting in the way of my intro?
You mean our intro? We're your hosts. I'm Kelsey Charles.
And I'm David Hellman.
Okay, let's just start this show now.
If I've learned anything from the 2021 Dallas Cowboys, I don't even need this intro to go that well. I can just rally and have a great show anyway, because that's what we're seeing.
I know.
4 wins in a row, not even their best effort, and they win by 24 anyway. I don't know, man. That feels kind of special to me, Kelsey Charles. What do you think?
I have to agree with you, Dave. I mean, listen, coming out on Sunday, there was a lot to talk about. Dak Prescott coming back a year later, week 5, we know, returning from injury. And I was a little skeptical about the performance in the first part of the game, and they just totally turned it around and made me eat my own words. And I am personally here from it. They're giving us a reason to believe. And Dave, I want to dive into some of those reasons specifically. Let's talk about Dak first, because literally, truly, what a difference a year makes. Dak, he's throwing for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. This man was on fire on Sunday.
The funny thing is, he wound up that way, but like I said, he didn't start that way. I'm not making this up. I was talking to our boss, Derek Eagleton, in the press box. I was like, man, it's been a long time since I've seen Dak look this bad. And as I said that, he split the corner in the safety and found Amari Cooper for a touchdown to kind of get them rolling in that game. And then you look at his stat line and you're like, oh, wow, I completely forgot he threw a pick and fumbled on 2 of his first 3 possessions of that game. So for him to rebound, man, I don't doubt that the injury was in the back of his mind. He even alluded to that after the game. He rallied in a big way.
Well, he wasn't the only one that had a nice game himself. Running backs by committee. You've got Zeke and Pollard, this dual threat in the backfield. I'm loving it. They both ran for over 200 yards against New York. I mean, talk about this offensive weapon and what it means for this team.
You realize I did the numbers on this. This is their best 4-game output of Ezekiel Elliott's career. Not even in 2016, when it was all about the ground game, were they running at a clip like this. Over 200 yards, 2 weeks in a row. 2 yards away from 3 of their last 4. They ran for 198 against the Chargers. Teams are trying to take the pass away, and Kellen Moore is saying, yeah, okay, we've got 2 studs. It's amazing that a team that can throw the ball like this is also capable of dominating like this on the ground.
It's also amazing, because I cannot believe I'm about to say this, but this Dallas defense is showing up. They held New York to under 75 rushing yards, 2 takeaways. Trayvon Diggs got another interception. What is Swag Daddy Dan up to these days?
I really confidence, man. Confidence and a very nice pass rush. Randy Gregory lived in the Giants' backfield. We saw Micah Parsons get after it this week. My favorite part was Anthony Brown saying, hey, I see y'all talking mess about me. I see y'all trying to bench me. And he gets a pick 6 for his efforts. They've had multiple takeaways in every game this year. I don't think that's ever happened in the almost decade that I've covered this team.
It's impressive, to say the least, and it was definitely a sight to be seen. Refreshing, might I say, especially in light of what last year's game against the Giants in Week 5 brought to this team. So we actually want to get a perspective on that, though, from the man who called the game himself, Brad Sham, voice of the Dallas Cowboys, joining us next.
Cowboys Star at Night is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys. AT&T. And by Favor, the official on-demand food delivery partner of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by the Dallas Morning News. Nobody does sports like Sports Day. Your home for complete Dallas Cowboys coverage.
Welcome back, everyone. Dave, our guest list continues to impress, and today is no different.
And in person, by the way.
I know. What a treat we have with us, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Texas Radio Hall of Famer, and the voice of the Dallas Cowboys, Brad Sham. Brad, welcome.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Legend.
Thank Dave.
Of course. No,
Here,
thank you.
Here, because of the 2 of you.
You see that? We have clout.
We do have clout.
The voice of the Cowboys himself is doing us a favor. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here.
I want to dive in because
You were two of my favorite social media followers.
Not paying for any of this. We didn't pay
It's
him.
like I owe you.
This is accurate. This is from the heart. All right, go ahead.
This is actually very true. I do want to get your thoughts, though, because, obviously you are just front and center on game days. And we all know the narrative around this past week with Dak Prescott, week 5, revisiting this Giants matchup. It was a big deal for him, for this team, for this fan base. I want to get what it was like for you because you had to make that call last year when this happened. It was such a tragedy, and being able to see him back on the field, and it was a little shaky at first, I have to admit, but I feel like he really came out and redeemed himself and redeemed one for the team, and it was just a really great win all around.
It was, but I think that personally, I thought he put that whole question to bed in week 1 in Tampa, and has continued to make the bed and put hospital corners on it and make it like a Murphy bed and shove it up into the wall in the intervening weeks. Would be impossible from the human aspect for it not to have been on his mind. So for him to admit after the game that he was kind of in a fog a little bit, that seems completely natural to me. It was such a horrific event to watch, but the game wasn't about that. It was something to be noted, but the game wasn't about that because they're trying to do something really memorable and important, and he is the epicenter of that, and he knows that, and so that was much, much bigger. Winning a third straight game at home, winning another division game, keeping the momentum going, that was all way bigger than the anniversary of the accident.
Perfect segue. If you watch this show with any regularity, I'm going to keep doing it because it matters, and it's the fun of this. The Cowboys are fun right now. Everybody who works around this team and who follows this team knows how much last year was terrible. So I'm here to savor this as much as I can. And for all I talk about it, if the Cowboys suck, I can kind of hide. Like, I don't have to tweet. You can't hide, Brad. You have to narrate everything these guys do, whether it's Tuesday night in Baltimore and Lamar Jackson's running for 300 yards on them, or if they're winning 4 straight games. So just how nice is this? How fun has this been as opposed to what we got used to last year?
Last year was an anomaly, in my opinion, because A, COVID, B, the injuries were just ridiculous, sure. and so you could not even compete. You couldn't even play the game you went out there to play, and then once Dak got hurt, then now we're just, when's it, January? That's all that is. Yeah. But one of the benefits of having done this job as long as I've done it is that I have seen all of this before. And I have felt the feelings of, oh, we got it now, by God, and right up until, oh, we don't got it. and so that's why I really thought you invited me here because of what I tweeted yesterday, which was, if you're a Cowboy fan, I don't remember it exactly, so I'm going to try to remember it. If you're a Cowboy fan, do yourself a favor. Don't fast forward any of this. Enjoy the journey. Appreciate every week. Don't make it be about the playoffs. It's not about the playoffs. It's about the exciting buildup to get to a position. And there's plenty of time to be in angst over what they haven't done for 25 years, and are they good enough to do this, and are they lacking in this? There's plenty of time for that. Just do what David Hellman said, ladies and gentlemen, words I never really thought I would say on camera, but here we are. You know, it's Tuesday of victory number 4 week, right. And they have not won in New England. If the Dallas Cowboys media guide is correct, they have not won in New England since 1987. They have never won at this stadium. There's nobody besides maybe Mickey Spagnola and me, affiliated with this team who was there to see that game in 1987.
Okay, you brought it up yourself because I don't want to insult somebody that was nice enough to come on our show. But
by saying how old I am, I know how old I am.
We weren't alive. Kelsey and I weren't alive.
Right.
I mean, that's all there is. So
I get it.
Do you remember anything about that game?
No. Absolutely not. I remember 2 games. I remember two Patriot games there. One was, it actually could have been 87, but I don't think so because it was a Monday night game, and I learned a valuable lesson because I blamed, no, I'm sorry. I was working with Vern Lundquist, so it was before 84. I blamed Charlie Waters for a 40-yard pass that the tight end Russ Francis caught down the sideline because he was the strong safety, and he came from the middle of the field down the sideline to get him. And that was on a Monday night, and on Thursday of that week, Charlie Waters came up to me at the old practice field on Forest Lane, and he got right in my face, and he couldn't have heard what I said. He was on the field.
Right.
You don't even, what are you talking about? You don't know what, they told me, I know what you said. And the lesson that I learned was that I don't know what defensive call they've made on the field. I saw strong safety, tight end, and I put them together and got 4. But in that case, it was 5. So the lesson that I learned was just because something is what it looks like to you on a football play doesn't mean it is. The only other visit to New England that I remember distinctly is the first time that the Cowboys played in this stadium. And AT&T Stadium was just barely a twinkle in Jerry's eye. And he happened to be on the field. The writer's press box is up in the corner, but the broadcast location for everyone from network television to visiting Spanish radio is the best in the league. It's low, it's wide, it's at the 50-yard line. Wow. And I called Jerry over and I said, see that right up there? You know, you can build a new stadium and actually put broadcasters where they can see the game. And he looked at it for a minute and he said, you have any idea how many millions of dollars of foot space that is? I like you, but I don't like you that much. And I said, thank you for your candor, and I know exactly where I stand. Those are the 2 things I remember.
I think you're about the only man in the world that can tell Jerry Jones
how to
spend his money.
In case you want to know Brad Sham's standing, that's all.
I wasn't telling him how to spend his money. I was just suggesting to him that there was another point of view.
Recommendation.
I knew I was going to live with whatever he decided regardless.
Such a treat. You were amazing.
Brad, we appreciate it so much.
And we're out of time.
Some better memories of New England on the horizon, we hope. We will be right back after this. We're going to be forecasting what's ahead for Trayvon Diggs and this defense.
This segment was brought to you by the Dallas Morning News. Nobody does sports like Sports Day. Your home for complete Dallas Cowboys coverage. This segment is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
We asked y'all to give us some feedback on this win against the Giants, and you helped us out in a big way. Jerry putting salt on that breakfast sandwich is going to be with us for a long time.
This is a deep cut Cowboys edition, and I'm here for it.
Is Salt Bay even a thing anymore? I know he's got a restaurant in Dallas. Maybe there's, oh my God, maybe there's like a crossover we can do.
We need it.
We'll see. All right, we're working through it. Obvious. Oh. What a great movie. What a great reference.
Never seen it, but the accuracy.
Of course you've never seen Little Giants. All right, go. That just bums me out. Let's go. David Hasselhoff drunkenly eating a cheeseburger.
40 burger, Dave. He's eating a 40 burger.
I legitimately had no idea what our friend
was
trying to say.
Come on.
I even came up with the 40 burger thing. Sorry, that went above my head. But hey,
totally fine.
I want more of that. There's more where that came from.
Yes.
We can keep the winning streak going.
Please tweet us your reactions after every game. We want to have you be a part of our show, too. You can find our handles at the bottom of the screen. But, Dave, reactions aside, these guys are on pace for some pretty impressive statistic lines. And I want to get your thoughts on our own little magic 8 ball, if you will. How realistic is it that each of these members can reach these accomplishments on the team?
See, no offense, producer Caden, I hate stuff like this normally because it's like we're not even halfway through the season and it feels so unfair
It's fun.
to try to project. No, but like it fits right now
It does.
because some of this is sustainable. Trayvon Diggs already has 6 picks. Like this, we're not projecting so much.
Don't give it away.
All right,
then.
I'm sorry.
Gosh, Dave.
The point is that it's more fun than I thought it would be because that's how good this team is playing.
It'd be more fun if you didn't give it away. Just answered these questions because
all right,
first
go ahead.
Dak Prescott is on pace for 42 touchdowns and 4,700 passing yards. Do you think that's under, right on, or is it a little over what you think he can accomplish?
Is it weird? Like, I don't even think that's a crazy high number. He was flirting with numbers like that last year before he got hurt, and that was with one less game, by the way. So I think I'm going to say he hits right around there. I really think he's capable of doing that.
I mean, honestly, me too, Dave. Like, listen, this guy is playing with conviction right now. He wants that comeback player of the year award, but more importantly, he wants some hardware. And so I personally am here for that stat line. All right, so let's move on then, because, you know, you did want to talk about Trayvon Diggs.
Okay.
He proved the entire world wrong and just came out with another interception. Can he get 18, which is what he's on pace for? It actually also breaks a single season record, which would be 14.
Yeah, no, see, and that's the point right there. Okay, so I don't think he's going to get 18 picks. That would be insane.
I would lose money.
You know why? Because 14 is the NFL record set by Night Train Lane in like 1952.
Literally.
That was the year my dad was born. Hi, Dad. If you're watching, I love you. I don't think, like, 18 seems unrealistic, but he only needs 8 more to hit an NFL record?
It's actually insane.
I think he's short of 18, but I mean, man.
This is the Trayvon Diggs train, baby.
What if he sets the NFL record?
I
How
mean, listen,
insane
he's
would
not
that
above
be?
it. Okay, well, how about we talk about some guys on the other side of the ball? These running backs, we just talked about them. They're on pace for 25 touchdowns, 2,700 rushing yards. Is that reasonable, do you think?
Reasonable, yes, and I think it's going to keep up. Like, I think they're going to hit that mark. Zeke himself is on pace for 1,500 right now, and that my point is defenses are going to keep doing this because they're afraid of what Dak and these receivers can accomplish. They don't want Dak bombing away. You know this is an offense that can throw for 500 yards a game if you let them. I think they're going to keep running like this all season long, to be honest with you.
Well, we're not the only ones that have some expectations for this team because Amari Cooper had some choice words to say after this game, to you specifically, Dave. So we're going to dive into that coming up after this break.
This segment is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, Dave, so I alluded to this beforehand, and you were interviewing Amari Cooper after the game this weekend. You kind of tried to throw him a softball, and he absolutely was. I'm just trying to do this. Like, I was like, hit it out of the park. That is not how you swing a bat, everyone. But nonetheless, he had a killer response to your question, Dave.
Look, I would love to pat myself on the back for being this amazing reporter because I'm the man, right? But I didn't do anything. I was trying to ask Amari something way easier, and I just feel like he had a burning desire. Let's just cut to the side. Show me what you got, Amari.
It's not about the opponent we playing. It's about like our standard. It's about like us being the best we could possibly be. Because, you know, our mindset is on a championship. To be a championship, you want to be clean. Like, as an offense, our goal should be to score every drive. If you score every drive, how can you lose, you know? And so when we fall short of that, that's when I kind of get, like, worried a little bit because, you know, when you're on a roll like this, it's just you start thinking about a Super Bowl, you know. I mean, that's just the reality of it, and you start to want it more and more and more and more the closer you get, you know, and you just start to worry about the little things more, like if we get stopped this drive, dang, what if that happens, you know, later? And see, that's just how I be looking at it. Yeah. But yeah, I think we just gotta play a little bit cleaner, and I think we could. That's the only reason I'm talking like this, because I really think we could.
So for further context, what I'm talking about is I basically tried to tell Amari, like, hey, y'all played pretty poorly in the first half and still managed to run away with it.
He didn't want any of that.
That's a good thing, right? And he was like, no, it's absolutely not a good thing because the standard's higher than that. And I was so impressed by that. And people get worked up when you say the phrase Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I know what Amari's trying to say. He's not putting them in the Super Bowl right now, but he can tell already. You can tell that this team has some serious potential. And I think it's really impressive that he's already thinking about, like, we've got to make sure we're meeting that potential.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is why we call him the silent killer. And I think about this when I'm building out teams. Yes, I do. Are you kidding me? I want guys like this on my team who hate to lose more than they like to win. I want those players every day. And he's one of them. He's like, listen, that was great. It wasn't good enough. We're better. I know we can be even more than that, and we left some points on the field. I respect that out of a leader on my team.
Between guys like Amari, Dak Prescott, I don't think you should be worried about motivation with this team. It's very exciting and encouraging. Stick with us. We got a little bit more for you after the break.
Cowboys Star at Night was brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys, AT&T, and by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
All right, Dave, so we've heard of the Cowboys Ring of Honor, and it feels like all players are trying to get there eventually. Well, the Dallas Mavericks have their own version they unveiled this week. It's the names of all former players immortalized on their baseline. Well, there's an interesting one that you might see, a bit of an outlier, if you will, Tony Romo.
That was one of the more unique nights of my career was Tony Romo's Mavs debut. Hey, we got Mavs, Cowboys love. Luka and Dirk were at the game on Sunday. I like it. Let's keep it rolling. We'll see y'all next time.